So as we take a look at three segments of a retirement plan, we'll look at income, investments, and taxes. Starting off with that income plan, and we start to believe, just look at what is that impact of inflation to your income plan. Now here's an example of a family that's nearing retirement, and they're wanting to spend about $7,500 a month in retirement. So this is not going to be $7,500 forever. If we think about the impact of inflation, let's just consider that $7,500 over a 25-year period. Think to yourself, how much higher do you think that might be with the impact of inflation across a 25-year segment? Do you have your guesses in? All right, let's take a look. It's $12,300. Wow. So what that shows us is that if you want to spend $7,500 today, as you're maybe entering retirement, 25 years from now, it'll take $12,300 to live the same type of lifestyle, adjusting for a 2% inflation over that duration of time. And this is something that families are often surprised by, is just how much their expenses might go up over time, assuming no increase in spending, just the same cost of living lifestyle that they're enjoying right now. We also want to take a look at the impact of inflation on your investments and your investment plan, just to see how important this is to have that longer term investment strategy. So with $500,000, let's say that you've saved that for retirement. If you think about that same reduction of purchasing power over time, over a 25-year time frame, you'll see that $500,000 could go down to about $300,000 that then you have the ability to purchase from. Now you're probably looking at this saying, well, I don't want my dollars to go down. That's why I'm going to make different investments. I've had two different families that I've talked to in just the last week where they said, I've got $500,000 saved for retirement. I just want to make sure that doesn't go backwards. They've talked about things like digging a hole in the yard, putting it under their mattress, and they say, Clint, I know we don't need to do that. That's not the right thing to do. But that's the way that they're feeling as they're entering retirement, is I don't want to let anything go backwards on this. And so let's just say that they have it in a savings account at the bank where it's not earning much interest. The reduction of purchasing power over time would attribute to about $200,000 reduction over that 25-year retirement time span. We also want to look at taxes and what's that impact over time on your tax plan. What this looks at is each year how much it is that you're likely to pay for a family that we're working with recently who has a portfolio of about $800,000. And if we add up what they're going to pay in federal tax in 24 and then add it together with what it is in 25 and keep adding it up across their retirement, what they find is they have a lot bigger cumulative retirement tax bill than they ever would have dreamed on. And that's in part because they're looking to get growth over time. And then as they take distributions, what we would find on their $800,000 portfolio, a lot of it is saved pre-tax. As they start to take distributions out, they find across their retirement, they are likely to have an over $600,000 retirement tax bill. So we want to make sure we're beating inflation over time. That's why we want to look to get growth in our investment accounts. But we also have to be aware of the impact of taxation and how that intersects with inflation over time. This just gets to show us, just the importance of having that longer term plan to ensure that you're ready for that impact of inflation on your retirement plan.
Clint, those are some staggering numbers, and that's why a lot of people are really concerned about. Sometimes fast forwarding 25 years down the road, though, it's hard to imagine what those real numbers are going to add up to be. But what you just displayed there is extremely accurate. In fact, we just lived if we go back 25 years to 2000, since 2000, cost of living has increased 74%, which is the average of over 3%. You were just using a 2% number. So it's extremely realistic. And in fact, the cost could increase further than what you showed up there on the screen. And over the last 25 years, that was 14 to 15 years where inflation was near zero, and it still averaged over 3%. So we have to account for it within the overall plan. And strategies like putting money in the savings account, putting too much money in the bank can really get eroded from inflation, even at a 2 or 3% rate.